بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا وشفينا ونبينا وحبيبنا وسندنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. As we are facing an unprecedented situation, unprecedented at least in the last 14 centuries. So this is the moment we should think about ourselves as human beings in general and as Muslims in particular. Here in this short voice note, I would like to point out something as a Muslim. So as Muslims, we must analyze and understand the reason for this grievous punishment. Yes, it seems a punishment that each and every mosque in the world is closed and we are not able to offer namaz in congregation anywhere. So it seems to be a very grievous punishment. It seems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with us. So we must ponder over the reason. We must ponder over the mistakes we have committed as a community and as an individual. I think we consider namaz as a burden on us, and we always try to unburden ourselves from this duty as something is obligatory to us and obligatory to us, and we have to get rid of this. As we have to get rid of this burden, there is no sense of gratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the countless and infinite blessings of Him. We don't offer namaz to show the gratitude for these blessings. We must understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to seek help from namaz. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah. O believers, seek help from namaz. Seek help from sabr and namaz. That is, seek help from patience and namaz. Do we really seek some help from namaz? If we do, what kind of help we seek? Have we ever thought of it? We must understand, we must analyze that which kind of help we are seeking from namaz. Or we are offering namaz only to seek some reward, as we are doing something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we deserve some reward to be granted in return. I think most of us think so. As we are doing something favorable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, na'uzu billahi min zalik, and He must grant us something in return. This is something at the back of our minds. It's a mistake. So foremost, we must understand the true concept of namaz, because I think we are stopped from offering namaz in masajid because of those mistakes we have been committing for the long time, generation by generations. Namaz is a reward in itself if we try to understand. Namaz is a kind of device which tells us whether we are moving in the right or the wrong direction. As in many hadith Rasul, something is reported by which we may analyze, we may get the true sense of seeking help from namaz. It is like we spend a span of time, a very short span of time between two namaz, say namaz fajr and namaz zohar, and when we offer namaz zohar and we are able to concentrate, we are able to achieve khashya. That means we have spent that span of life correctly, and if we are not able to, there must be some blunder committed by us. And we should try to understand that blunder and seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and determine not to commit it again. Here, in short, I would like to clarify the word khashya because most of the people are not aware of the true sense of khashya. The khashya is a state of mind in which a person feels the existence of God to that extent that he or she starts crying. According to Quran Majid, Namaz prevents a person from bad deeds. So, do we ever offer namaz in that way? Or do we understand how does namaz prevent us from bad deeds? When we say Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, that means we are doing a sort of agreement with a creator that we will always obey you and seek your help in return. So whenever we do something wrong, do we remember this promise, this agreement committed by us in namaz? If we do, certainly we will not do that mistake and refrain ourselves from that bad deed. This kind of remembrance which will surely prevent us from bad deeds. But we are observing that a person is offering namaz continuously 5 times in a day and there is no change in his life. There is no change in his behavior. There is no improvement in his character. That means we are not taking namaz as we should do. We are not understanding namaz as we should. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like this kind of namaz, which doesn't bring any positive change in our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is subhan. He doesn't need our namaz. He doesn't need our ruku and sujood. Namaz is for us. We need namaz. This is not favor to God. He doesn't need our favor. This is like in a maze, if we want to come out successfully without any obstacle and a device is provided to us and the device has 2 bulbs, one is red and other is green. Whenever we take a right move, the green bulb lightens up, and when we take a wrong move, the red bulb lightens up. So we can understand with the help of namaz that the span of life spent between the 2 namaz was correct or not. If it is spent correctly, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His precious guidance in the form of Quran Majid, Ahadith Rasul and Hidayah. The system of a guidance with the help of which we are able to spend the span of life successfully, and if we are not able to concentrate or we are not able to achieve khashya in namaz, the span of life between the 2 namaz was not correct. So we must try to correct it. We must try to understand the mistakes committed by us between those 2 namaz. So this is the system to check our lives again and again 5 times in a day. So it is the greatest help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is rahm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Suppose if there were no namaz, if there were no such system of examination of our lives, we would never be able to understand whether we are moving in the right direction or in the wrong direction. And after spending the whole life at the time of death, we could be able to know whether we become successful or unsuccessful. So it might be very risky. It's horrible. But we always consider namaz as something favorable to God. We are doing something good for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, na'uzubillahi min zalik, and we deserve something in return. And without having any sense of accountability and without understanding the real sense of namaz, we are just practicing some physical postures, and we always try to talk about the differences between the different schools of thoughts as far as these physical postures are concerned. When we should place our hands, where we should place our nose, where and how we should place our foreheads, how should we sit in tashahud, and so and so. And we have a lot of differences, but regarding only these physical postures. We never try to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to achieve khashya in namaz. In the whole Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't explain any physical posture for namaz, but straightforwardly He says in Surah Al-Mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Surely successful are those believers who achieved khashiyat in their namaz. We never talk about khashya. We always talk about clothings and the physical postures. This is a trap. This is a trap of shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from these kinds of traps. So now, this is the moment we should analyze ourselves. We should correct ourselves, at least in this regard. Though there are so many things that we should understand as a human being, as a Muslim, and as a Muslim. But here I am focusing my discussion to namaz only because among all these difficulties we are facing these days, the most grievous one is our inability to offer namaz in masajid, because it indicates that our Creator is not happy with us. No difficulty is bothersome if we feel that our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Creator, is happy with us. Trials and tribulations is an essential part of this life. But the present situation doesn't seem to be a trial, but a punishment. This is extremely dangerous if we understand it. And surely we are understanding. Now we are feeling what kind of ni'mat was that namaz-e-jamaat. We are crying, we are praying, we are asking forgiveness. But merely seeking forgiveness from Allah is not acceptable unless we try to change ourselves, unless we try to change our understanding for namaz, unless we don't try to change our social, economic and political behavior. I think the very common mistake committed by us as a community is that we consider Islam as the set of some specific rituals and traditions, but in the true sense, Islam is a socio-politico-economic system. It guides us in every week of life. How should we do business? How should we do farming? How should we do politics? How should we live with a family? How should we behave with our friends? In short, how should we do everything? But we think only offering 5 times prayer in a day, fasting in the month of Ramadan, paying zakat annually, and performing Hajj once in lifetime, this is complete Islam. For that misunderstanding, we are facing this punishment. This is a very common mistake we have been committing for centuries. We, as the majority, I'm not talking about each and everyone. There must be some righteous and pious people in the world who are living their lives just according to Islam, but the general color of a community is not good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides the destiny of a community on the basis of the acts committed by the majority, not minority. So I strongly feel that this is the last chance for us to correct ourselves as a community and as an individual. We should try to understand each and everything very critically. In Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 177, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين وفي الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة والمؤفون بأحدهم إذا أحدوا والصابرين في البأساء والضراء وحين البأس أولئك الذين صدقوا وأولئك هم المتقون. Obedience is not that you face towards east or west, but the obedience to God is that a person believes in Allah, the day of judgment, the angels, the revealed books, messengers, and spend his money on his relatives, orphans, needy people, travelers, and seekers, and for relieving debts. And be punctual in their namaz and pay zakah and fulfill their promises when they had done. And have patience in poverty, in sickness, and at the time of fight. These are the true people. These are the trustworthy, and these are the true muttaqeen. May Allah forgive us for each and every mistake we had committed in our lives and guide us towards Sirat-e Mustaqim and open the doors of masajid for us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi jami'an wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi alladhi hadana li hadha wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. اللهم صل على سيدنا وشفينا ونبينا وحبيبنا وسندنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. As we are facing an unprecedented situation, unprecedented at least in the last 14 centuries, So this is the moment we should think about ourselves as human beings in general and as Muslims in particular. Here in this short voice note, I would like to point out something as a Muslim.